Welcome back, everybody. It's your pal Orange Hat here to bring you another versus stream. It's going to be Deadpool versus Deadpool 2, the SDC or Super Duper Cut, not the theatrical version. Because if it's available, I don't like watching a theatrical version if a better version is available. So, with that out of the way, I do want to thank all of my subscribers and viewers who have participated in helping me get to 4,000 hours. I finally reached that goal. I am very grateful, and I am very thankful to all of you for helping me reach the ability to fully monetize. I will be taking or making efforts to get myself fully monetized when I feel that monetization is appropriate. However, right now, I hear they are not really doing a very good job with monetizing YouTubers with different senses of humor or different outlooks and ideals. Also, it's an election year, so chances are anybody who has a different outlook from the hive mind is not going to have much monetization. So, with that out of the way, let's get into this. This is, you all know how I do these streams, these versus streams. I take a look at more than just what is apparent. I take a look at story, cast, writing, pacing, editing, effects, acting, the leads, music and score, director, and budget. So, with that said, let me just take care of something quickly here. Alrighty. So now, with that said, we will say hello to the chat. So far, we have 8 people watching. I am also streaming this on X to get a little bit more of a crowd. So, how to do, Neozoic? I will not be able to see your content or your comments on X. That's the only drawback, folks. Apparently, they are not going to put it up. No, you didn't, Darth Zathra. Movie versus movie, Empire Strikes Back versus Revenge of the Sith. That wouldn't be a fair comparison, as Empire Strikes Back is a middle chapter and Revenge of the Sith is a third chapter in a trilogy. So I would not do that. Vanya, good to see you, Vanya. You think 2 is much better and think it should win. Well, we will see whether or not that happens. Which movie takes on the character is worse, more insulting? Origin, Deadpool, or Black Widow's Taskmaster? Both are heinous. Both are disgusting, especially with beloved characters. I absolutely hate the fact that they took a character like Taskmaster and made him a her, and she's a victim of her father's cerebral butchery, essentially. So I find that to be absolutely disgusting that they took a character who only Deadpool could beat, really, because he's so unpredictable, and nerfed him to insane levels. As for the Origins version of Deadpool, I think that was just, I mean, they mock it in this, or in the movies, or in the Deadpool movies. They completely mock the shit out of it, which is awesome and well-deserving. But honestly, I do think the Taskmaster, or Black Widow's Taskmaster, was much more abusive. And so with that out of the way, just some chatting. No, you haven't. You're catching this just at the beginning. So let's get into it, shall we? Starting with story. You got an origin versus a continuation story in Deadpool and Deadpool 2. I like the origin of Deadpool in the movie. I think that they did a good job at adapting it to screen. They made sure to make this a very hard R rating movie. I mean, you are seeing people get sliced in half. You are seeing people get very brutally murdered in many, many different ways. In Deadpool 2, kind of they kind of toned it down just a tiny bit, but not too badly. And when I say just a tiny bit, I mean like a couple of drops tinier than the first one. I do like how they gave Deadpool a reason to not want to be himself. And in the second one, he has fully embraced it. He enjoys it now because, well, his girlfriend enjoys it, especially the part. How do you do, Conroy Riker? With a rollicking chat, he sings along. Yeah, right. So yes, with the story, I gotta say, the first one is very straightforward without, or even though it's jumping back time through this and that and the other, but I like how the story is basically a revenge story, and it's really straightforward, a revenge story as well as an origin story, because you show the origin, how he was before he became Deadpool, and then you see how or what he does in pursuit of his vengeance. And in the second one, you see him basically just sick and tired of life. His girlfriend is dead. He wants to die, but he finds that he can't die. And so until he does something that allows him to die, you know? So we also have Cable and and Deadpool's being more of a hero in this case, where he's protecting this kid, where Cable is trying to kill him or kill the kid, sort of a reverse Terminator sort of thing. Um, and I mean, they even go there with the baby evil man from the 40s. So yeah, they actually go there. Conray, Gina Carano, her hair was what I had a problem with. I wasn't a fan of her hair in this film. Especially that whipped up do like that. I mean, that just wow. But other than that, I had no real problem with it. But we will get to that in further study. But as for the story in the first one and the story in the second one, remember when I'm doing the second one, it's the super duper cut, which is like 12 minutes longer than the original cut. It adds a little bit more context and whatnot. So, but still with that a little bit more context and such, I still think that the first one is a lot better. The second one has a more of a, or the opening has a more of a James Bond kind of feel to it, where the second one, or where the first one, the original one, is literally going through the first or the major first action scene in complete slow motion, like the Flash is running through there and just taking a look at all the cool little things, all the details, the minutia of the little bits of that first scene, which I think is absolutely hilarious. So when it does come to story, let's see here. Banner. I would have to give this one to or the score to the first Deadpool. Deadpool 1 story is better. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the second one's story. I just feel that the first one was a lot better executed. Tim Miller, you get props for that, which is kind of weird considering, but we'll get to that in the when we get to director category. So next, we're going to cast. But before I do, I see that there's another comment. So, how would I compare or rank both Deadpool 1 and 2 with other X-Men films, such as original trilogy, prequel films, Wolverine trilogy, and New Mutants? Deadpool 1 and 2 is massively more entertaining than all of those put together. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. They're all better than, or Deadpool 1 and 2 are better than the others. They don't skimp on the blood factor and gore factor. So yeah, that's why I like them. I mean, yes, you have the Wolverine trilogy, which is nice, but I think that Deadpool 1 and 2 is a lot better. So, continuing on to cast, let me open up or bring up the first cast for Deadpool 1. We have Morena Baccarin, Gina Carano, Ryan Reynolds, Ed Skrein. I have often said I would love to see Ed Skrein and Matt Marsden do a film together where they play brothers. I mean, because Marsden and Skrein, they just kind of, I've always mixed them up in movies. I used to mix them up so badly. So, but it's not as bad as it is now, or I can now very much tell them apart. So let's see here. I know Ryan Reynolds, Morena Baccarin from several things. Gina Carano is lovely in this film, even though I cannot stand her hair in a couple of scenes. Ed Skrein, I know him from a few other films. Brianna Hildebrand, I only know her from the Deadpool movies, so I'm not counting her. TJ Miller, I know from other movies as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stan the Man Lee, 6. Dopinder, I only know from these movies, and Blind Al from these movies. I know Jed Reese from shows and movies. Who else? Let's see here. And I think that is it for yeah, I think that's it for these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 for Deadpool 1. So going over to Deadpool 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know Julian Dennison from at least 2 other film franchises. The Christmas one with Kurt Russell, as well as the Godzilla versus Kong. So 4, 5, 6. Let's see here. Black Tom Cassidy. Bill Skarsgård, 7. Terry Crews, 8. Matt Damon was in this film as the redneck, so 9. 10. I think it's very obvious that I know a lot more people from this movie than Deadpool 2. I mean, if Deadpool 1 has 7 actors and I'm already past 7, I think it's very clear that I know more from Deadpool 2. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the I absolutely do love the cast from both, but I now know more names than or from just Deadpool 1. Now, let's see here. Okay, so now doing that. Getting back to the chat. Did you prefer Josh Brolin as either Nathan Summers or Cable or Mad Titan Thanos? I think he does good in both roles. I can't really compare. And how hot is Morena Baccarin on a scale of 1 to 10? I used to think she was about a 7. Then I saw her in Deadpool, and that knocked it right up to about a 9. No woman is ever a 10 for me, except for the one that I currently like. So, yeah. So, hey, Junebug, good to see you. So, updating the score, it's now tied 1-1. Deadpool 2 took cast because I know there's 15 different cast members in this movie that I know that I know from more than just one film. Oh shit. There we go. So yes. Now we're going to story. Or no, writing. Now, folks, again, I explain this in all my streams. Writing is more than just the writing of dialogue and whatnot. You have to you have to write out the entire story, the exposition. You have to write out the descriptions of characters and such. So writing plays a role more than just telling the story. And I gotta say, the dialogue in the story, as well as how the story progresses, writing and story are different, yet they both complement each other. Yes, I do know that they have a Deadpool 3 coming out, I do believe, this year. So, hold on one second, folks. Sorry, I had to sneeze, and I didn't want to blow out your eardrums. So, the writing for Deadpool, how they are lit, or how you literally have to take what's written on the page and put it in the movie. I love it. I absolutely love it. It is so richly detailed, especially in the beginning scene where they have to basically show you all of what's going on, the different minute details, and then they got to be able to match that in the writing for the scene in which that all takes place. So yes, they do show it all and whatnot and execute it very well. You also do have good dialogue work in this or both of these movies. When it does come to the dialogue section of writing, I absolutely love the first one a lot better than the second one, especially because, or honestly, I cannot stand Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I feel that her character does a good job in the first one, but is really she hurts the second one. I mean, the only real reason why they put her in the second one was just to basically play a gay card. That's it. And on it, I saw no other real reason for her character to be in the movie, or simply because they played a gay card and they gave her a girlfriend that is named Yukio, with a mutant with weird power that I honestly still have not looked more Gambitish power. So the writing suffers due to that whole purpose of making her gay just for gay's sake, because at that time, Deadpool 2 was actually in the era of wokeness. And I do feel that it was the only reason why they put her character or made her character gay. So the writing there suffers, and I'm not interested in Deadpool 3 because, well, I don't support the House of Mouse anymore. Thing is, dude, I have often said that Deadpool 3 is the biggest scam. It is a huge scam because they are going to show you, oh, it's Deadpool. It's a good movie because it's Deadpool. And it will vindicate them to make them think that they can go ahead with their wokeness. That's why I do not feel like supporting Deadpool 3. I will go see it. However, I will not support it. if you know what I mean. And thank you for the God bless you. So, for the writing for the first one works a little bit better than the writing for the second one. So DP1 has the score, or has the lead right now over DP2. So now we are moving on to pacing. How well do these movies keep you in the film? How well do they keep you locked in and focused on the movie? When it comes to Deadpool 1, all the way through, I am interested. When it comes to Deadpool 2, there are times that it's like, okay, moving along, come on. It drags. Mainly because I don't give a shit about the character of Negasonic Teenage Warhead. All she is there is to basically bitch at Wade. It's like, come on, man, just get this shit over with so I can enjoy the rest of the movie. She wasn't as annoying in the first one as she was in the second one. So they actually made her character likable in the first one, even though she was kind of a cunt. But in the second one, she is basically, she's the stereotypical angry lesbian. That's basically what she is. She's a stereotypical angry lesbian in the second one. And due to that, it makes me less inclined to watch the second movie unless I can actually skip over those scenes of her, which I am able to, thankfully, when it comes to home-owned media. So yes, when it comes to pacing, Deadpool 1 gets the score because Deadpool 1, she is less annoying. And it's because of her annoyingness that the pacing lacks in the second film. But if you do want me to go by an objective standard, even without my bias of her just being annoying, the movie does kind of drag because you have characters who are, less important. And it's like, okay, you're seeing stuff in the background that's happening, but it's like, does this stuff really need to be shown? I mean, that's basically why I find it less appetizing. The first one, it is straightforward. Everything basically, or every scene has a purpose, you know? So, editing, where you are transitioning into other scenes, where you are going back to other scenes in like flashback or whatever. This film does a good job with the editing, or DP1. DP2 does a good job with the editing as well, where they are showing, or where they are basically going through scenes in which have happened before. But I love Deadpool 2, how they actually fast forward after he changes a couple of things, and there you go. So when it comes to editing, I will actually give it to Deadpool 2 because they did it in a way that did not make the fast forward that made the fast forward less distracting and more appealing, because it's like, oh my god, do we have to watch it all over again? No. And instead of just cutting to that moment, they actually show the lead up, and they go a little bit, or they do the actual fast forward instead of just cutting from the lead up to the part where it's changed. So I do think that is actually a good job, that they actually did a wonderful job with it. So editing, I will give to Deadpool 2. So let me update the scoreboard. Deadpool 2 is catching up. So let's go to the chat before we go to the next one. We have Lancer 737. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Or I think Deadpool 2 is the best. I might have some, or one might have funnier jokes, but the plot was more serious and interesting to me in 2. Also, 2 had dramatically much better villains. I can agree with that to a degree. I still prefer Deadpool 1 though. But that's only through subjective. So let's see here. How would I compare Deadpool 2 with other 2008 comic book movies such as Black Panther, Infinity War, Ant-Man and Wasp, Venom, Aquaman? Venom was good. The others were simple comic book movies that, I mean, you're not gonna get better than Infinity War that year. Infinity War had the dark ending. I like when some movies have dark endings. If you have a dark ending, that's actually, it's like, holy crap, they're not afraid to go there. Like Terminator 3, as much as people give a lot of shit to that movie, and as much shit as I give to that movie, I love that it has a dark ending. Infinity War has the dark ending because they have to carry on the story to right the wrong, you know? So Deadpool 2, I think, honestly, it's, or out of the list that you have provided, I would say Deadpool 2 is a second, or a close second to Infinity War. Howdy do, Toodle say, good to see you. And I passed the 2016 comment. Well, there it is. Sorry. How would I compare 2016 Deadpool to Captain America Civil War, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, X-Men Apocalypse, Doctor Strange? Deadpool 1 takes the sweeps it. Captain America Civil War was good, but a lot of people give BVS a lot of shit, but when you see it in the full context, it is a little bit better than the theatrical. I like the Ultimate Edition better, even though I have lessened my liking to the Snyderverse due to some very unlikable people in those movies. Suicide Squad was okay. I'm still curious about that Ayer cut thing. X-Men Apocalypse, I'm one of those people who actually did like it. I think that Oscar Isaac did a good job as En-Sabah Nur. Doctor Strange, I thought that movie was a freaking acid trip in a good way. So Deadpool, though, definitely is better than all those films put together. No problem. As well as I agree, as Deadpool 3 is a scam. It's a way for Disney to sit there and say, look at us, we're cool, we are cool, and yeah, you lost 150 billion. Yeah. So, moving on to the next category. I do believe effects. When it comes to the digital effects of the first movie, you got good effects. When it comes to the effects of the second movie, they're slipping, but they also have some good effects too. Honestly, it all really depends. What is the budget for Deadpool 2? I think it was like, what, 110 million? Yeah. And so let's see here. Well, holy shit. 782. 795. All right. So with a higher budget, they were able to do a little bit more with the special effects, especially when they had Juggernaut in the movie. I still think that they actually did a very good job with the time sliding with Cable. However, they didn't have to do too much with one of the things that I actually did like, Deadpool 1, when they focused on digital effects, they really did a good job focusing on it. You didn't feel that there was a digital person doing digital stunts in certain scenes. Where in the second one, you absolutely know they're digital. So yeah, when it does come to effects, and then there's also the practical effects, um, which also was very good. uh I gotta say they did a good job with Colossus, though. I will say that both of them did a good job with Colossus, because Colossus, you actually feel like he's actually standing there in a couple of scenes, you know? And then in other scenes, he looks like he might not be standing there. You definitely see it's an inserted creation. So effects basically are, yes, I am going to definitely Deadpool 1 here. Because they were on a smaller budget, yet the effects were a lot more tight. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Now we're going on to acting. Acting in both movies was freaking phenomenal. But let's get to the chat here. Have you done a Superman 78 versus more modern Superman movies? If so, I need to go watch it. No, I have not. I have not, or I do not even own the digital copies for the Superman 78 film. I do want to get the Superman 78 film, especially the full extended version, which is like over 3 hours. So eventually I will get to that. But thank you for asking, Toodlesight. So, to the acting of Deadpool 1 versus Deadpool 2. You have a more dramatic and more serious tone in Deadpool 1. You have a more plus the comedy in it was also very good. However, in Deadpool 2, they focused on a serious event, yes, and then also the second serious event, yes, but then you also have a shit ton of comedy in it. Both of these movies are extremely well done with the acting. However, the acting is a step up in the second one, especially with Josh Brolin as Cable. Josh Brolin, to me, was a perfect Cable. A lot of people like to say that what's his name from Avatar? I forget his name. He played Quaritch. He should have been Cable, and it's like, I kind of see Josh Brolin as it, or as Cable, a little bit better than what's his name? Especially when he has to act as a person who is going after a kid. He is essentially a Terminator with a conscience. And I absolutely love that shot. He's like, because of you, I'm always going to know what an adult with baby balls looks like. It's so awesome. I mean, yes, Stephen Lane. Thank you. Some people actually thought he would have done better. Josh Brolin was way too small, but he was perfect. Yes, I know that Cable is taller, but I do believe that he did a better job as Cable. So the acting, it was much better in the second one. I will definitely give that to Deadpool 2. So we got it's now Deadpool 1 has 4 points, Deadpool 2 has 3 points. We are now moving on to the leads. Now, the leads are Baccarin, or in the first one, Reynolds, Baccarin, and Screen. The leads for the second one is Reynolds, Baccarin, and Brolin. Considering I've seen Baccarin so much through TV and movies. Ryan Reynolds, also very good. Screen, I've seen him in a few movies here and there. The most notable ones are Deadpool and Alita Battle Angel, where Josh Brolin, Mimic, Thanos, I think that he is a much better lead than Ed Skrein as a lead villain. Um, so yeah, I do think that the point for leads goes to Deadpool 2. So we are actually now tied, folks. Both of them are 4 and 4. Let's see what the next comment is. I'm always kind of prejudiced in favor of Josh Brolin because I was a fan of his father. I thought his father is a very good actor. I liked him in the brief cameos he had in Castle, the show with Nate Fillion. So yeah, I thought he was a good actor. And so moving on to the next, which is music and score. Now, I had to look up the score for the people who did Deadpool 1 and 2. Tyler Bates is known for Deadpool 2. Hulkenberg is known for Deadpool's score. So let's see here. Mad Max Fury Road, Dawn of Justice, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Deadpool. Let's see here. What other stuff has he done? He did Rebel Moon, apparently. He did the score for Tom Hulkenberg or Hulkenborg did Sonic 2. Good stuff. Godzilla versus Kong. He was all right. He did good job there. I'm seeing a lot of stuff that I like from Tom Hulkenberg as a person who does the score. For Deadpool 2, we got Tyler Bates, who did the score. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Deadpool 2, John Wick 4, Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. What else? Is there anything else that I know or see? So let's go beyond. While this loads, the many deaths of John Wick. Nice. The Punisher series. Holy shit. This is not going to be easy, folks. I'll tell you that much. Guardians of the Galaxy Inferno, Return of Michael Myers, yada yada. This guy has done some good stuff. John Wick, the composer of John Wick, Tyler Bates, man. He did a masterful job, but with the John Wick and doing it with Deadpool 2 or in having Hulkenberg for Deadpool. I gotta say, man, the music for Deadpool 2 was better because it was more emotional. The first one, it was kind of there in the background a little bit here and there. But I did like the score for Deadpool 2. Tyler Bates was much better. So, yeah. I would say that that was a lot better. So, hold on one moment. Now, let me update it. So, Deadpool 2 is 5. We now have Deadpool 2 in the lead. So, Toodle say, yeah, well, I've always been a fan of James Brolin since 1969 when he was on Marcus Welby, MD. Yes, I know, I'm old. Hey, man, if you're old, that's awesome. It means you've seen a lot more, especially than me. How would I rank Ryan's Deadpool with other comic book casting? Reeves, Superman, Jackman's Wolverine, Ledger's. Ryan Reynolds is the perfect live-action Deadpool. He is the perfect live-action Deadpool. Ledger was a good Joker. Best Joker live-action wise. Because a Joker would be an anarchist and a psychopath. Reeves' Superman, he did a wonderful job. Jackman's Wolverine, he did a wonderful job. Jackie's Rorschach. I mean, you have perfect actings here, man. You have perfect choices. Toby Maguire was the best Spider-Man. I thought that, but Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, there is no more perfect casting than that. So yeah. Getting on to the next category, which is director. You have Tim Miller and you have David Leitch. Let's see here. Tim Miller, who is known for all of the Deadpool 1 marketing and Terminator Dark Fate. David Leitch is known for John Wick, uncredited for John Wick. What else is he known for? Let's see here. I do believe he's more known for other movies as well. Let's see here. As a director, Bullet Train, Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, Deadpool 2, John Wick. So yeah, David Leitch is more known, and also he's got good movies. So I would have to give the director category to David Leitch. And that puts Deadpool 2 in a lead that cannot be caught. Although we will go to budget to finish out the categories. Budget for Deadpool. Let me bring this up. Deadpool 1, 58 million to a 782.8 million worldwide. Gotta say, that's pretty good. Deadpool 2's budget with a 110 made just a hair over Deadpool's earnings. So where the other one was 782, this one was 785. 0.8, both were 0.8s. So Deadpool 2 made 3 million more in the box office. However, Deadpool 1 made more money in the box office due to the fact that it had a lower budget of only 58 million. So Deadpool 1 actually gets the point in the budget and earnings. So while Deadpool 1, in my opinion, is the better movie, objectively speaking, Deadpool 2 takes the win. Deadpool 2 actually takes the win. Because, or from an objective standpoint of 11 different categories, folks, going through, looking at the different qualities of each film, Deadpool 2 wins it by hair. This was not an easy call. You also, or I didn't include Perlman's Hellboy, Professor X, Keaton's Bale's Batman, and yeah, because too many to lift off. There is way too many to lift off or list off when it comes to thing, or when it comes to perfect casting. However, there is one casting that you didn't mention, Neozoic, and that is Carl Urban as Dredd. I think Carl Urban is the best Dredd, period. So yeah, Deadpool. So yes, Deadpool 2 wins through the objective standard. Me, I do like Deadpool 1 a little bit more due to the fact that I can watch that without wanting to fast forward through anything. Deadpool 2, I skip scenes. because it's like, okay, this is boring. I just want to get to the meat of the movie. You know, I feel that that is better. So I am going to have to think of a category for next month, April. I'm definitely going to have to think of something, but that will do it for all the ones versus twos. I did have a lot of fun for this or during this. It may be a versus style next month. It may not. So hell, I might even just bring back single or my own single hosted versus streams just to actually see or come up with some different things or different things to do, you know? It all depends, folks. I do like doing movies. I do like talking shit and whatnot. So I will think about it while I wait for March to end out. But I do want to thank everybody who has been watching. You all are freaking awesome, folks. Neozoic, Conroy, Vanya, Toodlesay, Junebug, Darth Zathra, and let's see here. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Not really. But however, to everybody on X, thank you so much for giving me views there. Y'all are freaking awesome and amazing people. Let's see here. Carl Urban, except for the X over the goggles, yeah. So, anyway, folks, yep, Deadpool 2 was better than Deadpool 1, objectively speaking. However, preferably, I prefer Deadpool 1. So, thank you so much. Tonight, I will be on the Barroom podcast with Society Reviews and others. We're going to be talking all sorts of insane shit. Orange Hat Uncensored will be, or also Lancer. Thank you for coming in and watching. Thank you so much, Neozoic, for catching that. Thank you all for watching. I will also have Orange Hat Uncensored on X and on YouTube. Sorry, blanked there for a minute. Almost went the full stream without blanking. Next month's ones and twos are going to be The Accountant and From Paris with Love with Mara on my channel on Thursdays, 2 Thursdays throughout April. Let's see here. She has yet to pick the ones and twos yet. So other than that, I will be giving you guys some more content as I can think it up. I got a video on Ernie Hudson on my channel right now, so feel free to check that out. Thank you to everybody who got me up over 4,000 hours. I'm now trying to get to 2,000 subs. If you guys can share out my channel link and whatnot and share my content to other people that you know, if they might be interested, that would be greatly appreciated. Y'all are freaking awesome. Sunday, I will be doing a review for Godzilla Kong. I will not be doing the recap. The weekly recap is, frankly, there's a lot of boring shit and not a lot of interesting stuff right now. There's kind of a dead space in Hollywood news right now. So I will be doing a live reaction for, or a live review for Godzilla Kong. And I will be giving my thoughts. So that will be when I come back from the theater after watching it. So thank you to everybody who checked out my Frozen Empire review. I will be doing non-spoilers first, like I did in that one. Then I will do spoilers second. So yeah, make sure that you check it out. And I will talk to you all later. This has been Orange Hat. You guys are freaking awesome and amazing people. Anyway, stay humble.